Welcome back, everyone. Chapter 8, The Crystal Festival. Written by Foxgear. Read by Icy Knight. Applejack and Luna trotted side by side as they indulged in all the Crystal Festival had to offer. There were games, food, and entertainment provided by various party ponies, and Luna's personal favorite, jousting. The Princess of the Night's purse jingled with her winnings from said jousting, having won a bet against Shining Stone after the captain of the guard challenged her to a wager. Applejack was just glad Luna was feeling better after last night. Both of them silently agreeing that nothing needed to be said. Luna shouted excitedly, waving her lute in the air. "Huzzah! Look at thy bounty, fair Applejack! See it bounce!" Applejack lowered her head over her face as several ponies turned towards them. "Yes, Luna, I see it. Dost thou wish for a crystal candy apple? I shall pay." She smiled. "That would be great. If it's edible." "Why, of course it is. You shall see. Wait here. I will return." Luna happily bounced over to the stall selling the apples. Applejack quickly looked around and tapped her hoof 3 times. Nightingale appeared from the shadows, dressed as a regular civilian. Report. Sombra is currently at the joust and seems intent to remain there for a few hours. Fury is keeping an eye on him as we speak, and will update you if he moves. "Good," said Applejack. "I don't want that damn stallion anywhere near Luna for the rest of our stay if we can help it. How are things going with Dusk? Is she behaving?" Nightingale pawed at the ground. Define behaving. "What'd she do?" "Well, with Dusk, I'm Queen Shit-a-Buck Mountain. All you recognize," Dusk declared, standing on top of a mountain of defeated foes. "No pony can beat me at pie throwing." "This is a pie eating contest," the owner of the stand yelled. "Oh, oops." Back with Applejack and Nightingale. "I see," Applejack said, rubbing her temple. "Wait, who taught her to swear?" Nightingale? Oh, look, Luna's coming back. Gotta go." "You get back here!" Applejack yelled as the Pegasus soared into the sky. "Gosh darn it, stupid Pegasus and their wings." "Ah!" Applejack grunted softly as Luna came into earshot. Luna watched as Nightingale disappeared into the sky while handing Applejack her crystal candy apple. "Was that Nightingale?" "Yep." "She seems to be in a hurry. Is there something wrong?" "Nope." "I see. And are you answering in one word replies, why?" Applejack. Luna asked, taking a bite of her own candy apple, leaving many crystal sprinkles dotting her muzzle as she did so. Applejack took a bite of her own apple before answering, taking notes on the fruit's texture and flavor. "It may look like a rock, but it tastes pretty darn good. I wonder if we can grow these back home." No reason, Applejack replied, licking her lips. Where do you want to go next? To the joust. Our luck has surely improved, and I wish to rub my winnings in Shining Stone's face once more. I don't think that's a good idea, Luna, Applejack said, tapping her hoofs nervously. She's no good at lying. But maybe. What if Sombra's there? I'd rather avoid being near that stallion as much as possible. Luna rested her hoof on Applejack's shoulder. We should not let that despicable Sombra ruin our day. The chances of us meeting him in such a large festival are slim, and even if he happens to be there, that doesn't mean we have to sit with him. As royal guests, we will have our own private booth for viewing the competition. Surely that would ease your worries, Applejack? I guess, Applejack replied, with uncertainty in her voice. She had a very bad feeling about this. Good. Now let us be off. Luna was right. They did have their own private seat high above the other ponies, giving them a Pegasus eye view of the arena. Unfortunately, so did Sombra, and his booth was right next to theirs. However, instead of talking to them, he would smile deviously in their direction every time Luna would make a bet. Then he would bet on the opposite pony. Their silent betting battle carried on for a long time. Bets were exchanged, lost, regained, and bets were raised over and over again to ridiculous numbers. Applejack had never seen so much gold in one place before. She couldn't wait for the end of the tournament so they could leave. She didn't like the smile on Sombra's face as he once again matched Luna's bet. Below, two mares prepared to joust. Here we go, ponies! The last joust of the day. Swift Kick versus Roundhouse. The bets are locked with a 245 to 197 in favor of Swift Kick, the announcer said. He raised his hoof into the air. Both mares stomped the ground to indicate they were ready. Ready! Joust! Like her name, Swift Kick kicked off fast and hard, barreling down the fence path. Her lance trained in on Roundhouse. The two drew closer and closer, the tension building with every hoof beat, when suddenly Roundhouse fell to his side before the big clash. Swift Feet skidded to a stop, confused. Mares and Gentlecoats, please wait while we figure out what's going on, the announcer said to the restless crowd. Up in her booth, Luna narrowed her eyes at Sombra. What did you do? She demanded, magic flaring around her horn. Whatever do you mean, Princess? Sombra replied, smirking. My bet was on Roundhouse. What possible reason did I have to sabotage her? Luna growled and walked to the edge of her booth, so her and Sombra were only a few feet apart. Really? Then why did that shadow jump out and trip her at the last second? Who knows? Sombra replied, looking innocent. She huffed and returned to her chair as the announcer spoke over the crowd. I'm sorry, mares and Gentlecoats, but Roundhouse has appeared to have broken her leg. She can no longer continue. Swift Kick is winner by default. The crowd booed, all displeased to the anticlimactic ending and the lost bets. Ponies were starting to get restless and began demanding refunds when Sombra spoke. Ponies, do not despair, he shouted, amplifying his voice via magic. His eyes turned to All eyes turned to him. For your entertainment, I propose a challenge to Princess Luna to see which pony's royal god is better in 3 one-on-one matches. Do you accept my challenge, Princess? Luna felt her attention turn to her. She was caught off guard by the challenge. There was no way she could refuse. Not in front of these many ponies. If she did, she would make Equestria look weak. Regretfully, she looked to Applejack, who was frowning, and she muttered, "Sorry," to her friend, and cast her voice amplifier spell on herself. "We accept. My champions, come forth. Applejack, Nightingale, and Fury. Gather around her, each one mentally preparing themselves for the battles ahead. My champions are here. Where are thous?" "I keep them hidden for now. They are rather exotic in appearance. I wouldn't want them to wow the crowd before the competition has even begun." Nina narrowed her eyes, but chose not to address the matter further, instead focusing on the crowd. "Very well, the matches will begin in 30 minutes. Please wait while we set everything up." "Are we really doing this, Luna?" Applejack asked, as she adjusted her armor. Glad she thought to bring her greaves. At least something felt comfortable. The crystal armor she wore felt stuffy and restrictive compared to her own custom-fitted Night Patrol armor. It made her jealous of Fury and Nightingale, who had their own armor from home. Luna sighed. "I'm afraid so, Applejack. We accepted the challenge. I wish it were me fighting rather than you 3. It's my fault for falling for Sombra's ploy. You 3 be careful. Be careful. Sombra may try to pull something during the matches. And no matter what, don't die. That is an order." "Understood." The 3 saluted, each one smiling with excitement for their coming battle. Whatever the circumstances, Night Patrol ponies don't shy away from a fight. They would show Sombra's goons just who they were messing with. "I will cheer for your victory. Good luck, my ponies," Luna said, flying back up to her private seat. Applejack, Fury, and Nightingale entered the arena. They drew lots to decide who went first. Applejack drew the shortest, so she would go first, followed by Nightingale, and finally Fury, who was a bit muffled about being last. As Applejack took center stage in the large arena, Fury and Nightingale took their spots off to the side. Now it was time for Sombra's challengers to enter. The announcer cleared his voice, calling for the crowd to hush. "Mares and gentlecolts, welcome to the first round of our special Royal Guard match-off. On the right we have Applejack of the Apple Clan, fighting for Princess Luna of Equestria." The crowd roared with excitement. Applejack merely waved, feeling a bit queasy now that she was the only one every pony was looking at to entertain them with violence. And the challenger on the left side, fighting for King Sombra of Merdor, is the lovely and exotic Equus, hailing from faraway lands. A zebra, or would such noble creatures side with Sombra? Luna wondered as the striped mare approached the center. Yours were much like Earth ponies, but with their own special brand of magic that usually involved rhymes and potions. And judging from the numerous pouches dangling from Ikua's neck, she had quite a snack pile with her. Howdy. Let's have a good clean match. Applejack extended her hoof for the other mare to shake. The night patroller had to crane her neck upwards to meet Iku's eyes. Boy, howdy, she's tall. Iku's looked curiously at the extended hoof before finally shaking it. And the same to you, little Jack, for I hope you can do more with your hoofs than talk smack. I ain't talking any trash. You best take that back. Ikus chuckled. It was a joke, little filly. No need to be so silly, silly filly, Applejack. Applejack huffed and stepped away from the zebra as the announcer prepared to start the match. Competitors, are you ready? On the count of 3, you may begin. 1, 2, 3. Applejack wasted no time charging Iku's head on with the horn of her helmet stabbing at the zebra, who merely trotted to the side, allowing the earth mare to charge right past her. Skidding to a stop, Applejack turned simply and charged again. You will have to do better than that, little pony. Ikus taunted, ready to side-trot again. As the blonde mare approached, she suddenly changed direction, sliding around Ikus in a semicircle, creating a barrier of stone spikes around her. Impressive, little pony. Ha, you haven't seen nothing yet, Applejack said, brimming with confidence. Running up on her hind legs, forelegs aglow with orange magic, Applejack slammed her hooves on the earth, creating a chain of stone spikes that attacked the zebra. Calmly, Ikus reached into one of her many pouches, retrieving a green powder and blew it into the air towards the attacking spikes. A loud noise like thunder echoed as the powder conducted with the stone spikes, sending harmless pebbles flying everywhere. A nice trick, but mine is better. We'll see about that, Applejack replied hotly as they began to circle each other, green eyes meeting yellow. Both equines began to pick up speed as they circled closer and closer to each other. Applejack and Ikus slammed into each other, the crowd wincing as the sound of cracking bone could be heard. Stumbling on her hooves, Applejack dry heaved while quickly unbuckling her armor, revealing a rapidly forming bruise around her ribs. What happened? I felt like I was hit a wall of steel. She wasn't wearing any armor either, so why isn't she the one hurting? Yuku smirked as she held up a bottle of purple liquid. It's called turtle shell. One drink can make the user's skin as tough as a turtle shell. Pretty handy, no? Applejack wheezed, holding her side. More like under her hoof, if you ask me. Don't think that'll be enough to bring me down. Of course not, Applejack. I have many more potions to try. So please, try not to die. Dying is one thing I don't plan on doing for a long time. At least not till I'm old and gray, with a ton of little filly and colts running around, Applejack said shakily, standing on her hooves. The pain in her side was getting worse, and it was distracting. She had to be focused for this next move to work. Oh, come on. Give me all you got. Iku snorted with amusement. Very well. She held up a red potion. This one gives you the strength of 5 stallions. This will be over quickly. Popping the cork, she drank down the potion and discarded the bottle in her as her muscles bulged, expanding and strengthening to that of stallions, and then even more than that. When Iku's muscles stopped growing, she appeared to be more bulk than Zebra. Come on then, come at me, Applejack taunted, as Zebra came brawling towards her. Seems the potion also gave her a speed boost, but it was no matter. Charging her apple-bucking legs with as much magic as she could, Applejack waited for the right opportunity to attack. Too early, and she would miss. Too late, and she'd run over like grass against Stampede. Now! Turning 180 degrees, Applejack pulled in her powerful hind legs and bucked Iku's right in the face. The crowd winced as hoof met skull, and the monstrous zebra was knocked aside, bouncing hard against the ground before coming to a complete stop. Iku lay unmoving in the dirt, covered in her own blood. Medic! We need a medic in here, now! The announcer called. 2 ponies with red crosses for marks quickly picked the zebra up on a stretcher and carried her off. The winner of the first round is Applejack by knockout or possible fatality. Please wait as we have a short intermission. Applejack stumbled to the sidelines feeling sick. She hadn't meant to hurt Iku so badly. I've slain my fair share of monsters, but a fellow equine? The mere thought of perhaps killing another pony made her sick to her stomach, and this time she did throw up. You okay, Captain? Nightingale asked Applejack uncertainly as she helped her to the sidelines. You need some water, or do you need a medic? That looks pretty bad. Jack numbly looked at her side, noticing just how bad it was. Not that she had time to actually look at it before. It felt even worse now, and she could see the damage done. I guess I wouldn't mind a drink and a dock. Looks pretty bad, don't it? She chuckled nervously as image of what she did to Iku played over and over in her head. She cringed, remembering the feeling of bone breaking beneath her hooves, imagining bits and pieces of the zebra skull shooting into her brain. The image made her shiver. Will the competitors for the next match please enter the arena? Looks like I'm up. Wish me luck, Nightingale said, heading out, stopping short when Applejack called out to her. Wait, Knight! Yes, Applejack rubbed her They nervously. Be careful, okay? Luna knows what you might be up against out there. Nightingale smiled and nodded wordlessly to her commander and entered the arena. She took to the center, the announcer yelling her name and such to the crowd. She ignored him, looking instead to the darkened corner where her opponent was supposed to emerge. The announcer said something, and the sound of muffled hooves could be heard from the dark corner. Nightingale crouched into her battle stance, prepared to take fight as soon as the word start was given. A figure emerged from the shadows. Nightingale blinked, making sure her eyes weren't playing tricks on her. Her opponent was her? Standing across from Nightingale was another pony, a Pegasus, with the same blue mane and white coat as her. A carbon pony of her, if there was ever such a thing. What the fuck?
Hey!
Surprised, the other pony replied, her voice the same as Nightingale's. Nightingale stared at her doppelganger, her thoughts running wild. She my long-lost twin sister or something? An evil magic clone? My daughter? No. That last one is impossible. I'm way too young. It's not like I ever been with a stallion. The sister thing is possible, but unlikely. So that leaves... Begin! You're not taking over my life, you evil monster! Nightingale yelled, tackling her doppelganger. The two rolled on the ground, exchanging blows, till finally one of them managed to force the other off. Ha! You suck at fighting. Whoever cloned you trained you poorly. And I'm gonna buck you up hard. Oh, at least take me out on a date first. It's only proper, the doppelganger said, making Nightingale blush and stumble in her attack. The doppelganger chuckled as Nightingale readjusted herself. I see some pony still hasn't experienced the touch of a stallion. I feel bad for you. Shut up! Nightingale stuttered, blushing so hard that her entire face turned red. The doppelganger laughed, taking flight. What an amusing child. Follow me if you dare, virgin. I'm going to fucking kill you. Nightingale gave chase, chasing the doppelganger into the clouds. She landed in the middle of a giant muffin-shaped cloud, losing sight of her twin. She snorted angrily, stopping her hoofs against the cloud, thunder rumbling as the peaceful white clouds darkened to match her mood. Come out and fight me! A slurly chuckle echoed through the cloud as a tall shadow figure trod out from the fluff. The creature was equine in appearance, with a black coat, bug-like wings, and a long, crooked horn upon its head with hooves that looked like Swiss cheese. The creature parted their lime green mane with smaller insecticide-like equines emerged around them. What are you? Nightingale asked wearily. She looked around for an escape route. All available paths seemed to be blocked except for beneath her. But who was to say more weren't waiting below? She had to get out of here. First she wanted to find out what was going on. The tall creature laughed, flicking her mane, as she walked towards the Pegasus. I am Queen Crysal, Queen of the Changelings. The adorable little creature you see before you, in case you didn't know. Nightingale dug her hoof into the cloud, preparing to dive. Never heard of you. You some kind of alicorn rejects? You sure look the part. What do you even do besides look ugly? Chris's horn glowed green. Her fury boiled over. Nothing worth explaining to a dead pony. And that's my cue. Digging into the clouds, Nightingale dived down as a green beam of magic shot through the clouds behind her. Several of the smaller changelings gave chase, but she easily outflew them and disappeared deeper into the clouds. Damn, how many layer deep is this cloud? She tasted the air. It was filled with moisture, the storm front, and in her anger she foolishly flew into it without keeping track of just how far she flew into it. Storm fronts were miles wide and high. Of course, logically, all she needed to do was fly up or down to get out, which was easy enough except for thunder and lightning roared and flashed, shaking her to the core as electric energy arched through the clouds. She peeked down the eye of the storm. Lightning was dancing everywhere. Going straight up or down was no longer an option, especially with those changeling things hunting her. The shadow of moving caught her eye, and Nightingale swiped around to face whatever it may be. She relaxed her aggressive stance when she discovered it to be her doppelganger. There you are. Listen, we have to call off the fight for a little while. There are some strange ponies up here and we need to get back down to report to our... Hey, are you alright? The doppelganger didn't speak. She just kept moving towards her. Nightingale stepped back away from her clone, her instincts screaming at her to stay away. Hey, are you listening? The other her hissed and leaped at her. Nightingale dodged and bucked her with both back hooves in the flank, sending her flying into an arc of lightning. Doppelganger screeched a death wail as electricity flowed through her veins, and she fell to the ground motionless. Nightingale hesitantly shook, but she didn't wake, and she never would. Her heart had stopped. Oh no, she gasped, stepping away from the corpse. I didn't. I would never. Tears rolled down her cheeks. She never killed before, not even a monster. But now she's killed up. Nightingale couldn't finish the thought, as the need to relieve her stomach overtook her. I'm sorry, she said to her fallen opponent after wiping the bile from her muzzle. This isn't how I wanted to win. After a moment's silence for the fallen warrior, Nightingale walked away to continue her descent to the ground. She needed to get down to Princess Luna to tell her about the strange creature she saw. As she approached the edge of the eye, a flash of green caught her attention. Nightingale looked back at the corpse of her fallen opponent, which had changed into a dead changeling. What's going on? She approached the strange corpse, but stopped halfway when 3 more changelings dug through the clouds. They didn't look very happy. Not happy at all. In fact, they looked very angry. Probably because she killed their friend. Hey, this isn't what it looks like, Nightingale said, walking backwards to the edge of the eye. Seriously, it was an accident. They didn't seem to be buying her story. The 3 changelings charged at her, and Nightingale had only had 2 options, fight or flight, and she chose flight. Rearing to her hind legs, Nightingale jumped down to the eye, dodging lightning arcs and fighting headwind. The creatures didn't follow her, thankfully. Instead, they screamed. At first, she thought it was out of anger for her escape, but it turned out to be a cry for help as more appeared. A lot more. Dozens, to be exact. Oh, Buck! She screamed. As the black swarm descended upon her, they changed fiercely, though the wind and lightning barreling down on her like locusts. Nightingale flew faster, staying just ahead of the swarm. She wished for her goggles right about now. It was hard to see in all of this wind. The watering eyes, she saw 3 black specks flying towards her. She thought she was beginning to black out, but as the specks grew closer, they became more detailed, and she could make out the features of the changelings. Unable to slow down with the enemy at her back and enemies at her front, she knew it was time to fight. Reaching out for her hoof, Nightingale grabbed a bunch of cloud. Fluffy white turned to black as she poured her magic into the cloud and reared back her hoof and slammed it into the nearest changeling. Thunder hoof! She shouted triumphantly as lightning discharged from the cloud, electrocuting the changeling. Ah, take that, you varmints! Nightingale whooped, punching another changeling with the storm cloud. Varmints? Captain Applejack must be rubbing off on me. Next thing I'll be saying, I like she does, and I'm already doing it. Great! Nightingale fought her way through another group of changelings. More and more of the vile black creatures fell to her like thunder, fell to her little thunder cloud, making the others worry about attacking her. A good thing too, the cloud is almost gone. She nodded, looking at the small black pile of fluff on her hoof. One more zap was all it had left. A light appeared up ahead. It was the bottom. Excitedly, Nightingale flew at top speed to the opening, hoping the changelings wouldn't follow her beneath the clouds. Even if they did, she would have help. Not so fast, little pony. Crysal, the changeling queen said, appearing in front of the opening. Horn brined with magic. You're not going anywhere. Nightingale pulled back her hoof with the storm cloud and shouted, "We'll see about that." She dived for the queen in the stands. Meanwhile, down below, Luna searched the skies for her faithful patroller via opera binoculars. Commander from a fellow viewer. "May I please have my binoculars back, Your Majesty?" And then I turned to the pony, her expression grim, and said, "No." "I see. Carry on then." Returning to her task, Luna growled, having found no sign of either pony in the sky since they flew into the clouds over 30 minutes ago. The announcer tried to send up referee ponies, but the incoming storm front made it too dangerous to enter. Lightning flashed in the sky, and the crystal unicorn summoned a dome over the arena to block the rain. Crystal ponies loved festivals, and will do anything to keep them going. Not even bad weather could stop a crystal festival. Luna was ready to fly up herself and look for Nightingale, regardless if it would disqualify her, when a bright flash of blue and green appeared in the sky. The crowd awed at the display, but Luna's attention was on the falling speck. "Nightingale!" No pony saw the princess disappear via teleportation spell, till she was already halfway to her falling subject. She caught the Pegasus on her back, and was happy to see her still breathing. From the clouds emerged Nightingale's opponent, who looked exactly the same as the Pegasus down to the mane and tail. If not for Nightingale's armor, they would indistinguishable. But Luna knew there was something different about the other Pegasus, something she didn't like. "Back off," she ordered, the clouds rumbling with her voice. "You have won this bout. Now reveal thy true self." The Pegasus laughed. "And spoil the fun? I think not." She flew down to the arena, where the announcer declared her the winner. Luna flew down and handed Nightingale off to the medics. She pulled Applejack aside. "Watch over Nightingale. I fear for her safety." "Against what?" Applejack asked. Luna frowned, unsure how to answer. "I don't know, Applejack. I truly don't. But I fear something bad may happen if we don't stay alert." "Gotcha. Don't worry, Luna. I'll keep her safe. She is a comrade after all." "More importantly than that, Applejack, she is a friend, and we keep our friends safe." Applejack nodded and trotted after the medics. Luna began to walk back to her seat, stopping next to Fierce Fury, who was ready to fight. "Be careful, Fury. Something is amiss. I want you to show them what happens to those who hurt our friends." "I intend to," Fury replied darkly as the announcer called him out. "Our final champion fighting on the side of Princess Luna, Fierce Fury!" Fury stepped into the arena, walking tall and proud, showing off every aspect of his dragon/equine features to intimidate his opponent. The crowd swooned over him. Excited chatter filled the air as the bets shifted in his favor. "Quite the specimen you have, Princess," Sombra said as Luna landed in her seat. "I imagine you must keep him close when your heat rolls around." Luna growled, but ignores him as he continues to babble on. "I too have a fierce warrior in my guard. You may find him familiar." A hush fell over the crowd, many gasping as Sombra's final champion emerged from the shadows. Luna looked, wondering what all the fuss was about. She too was stricken with silence as she gazed upon the champion. And fighting on the side of King Sombra, Blood Moon. A blood-coated stallion with leathery wings and ears took up position across from Fury. There was no doubt in Luna or any pony's mind of what he was. He was the shadow of the night, the equine devil, a bat pony. A bat pony? One of my children fighting for Sombra? Luna thought. Cliffhanger. Yeah. What about that? Wow. Looks like chapter 9. Is when we are going to find out who wins. That's going to be an interesting fight. A bat pony versus a dragon pony. Now, my own character is a bat pony, so my bets are on him. But I believe the bigger question is, why is a bat pony fighting for King Sombra? Well, till next time, this is Icy Knight, wishing you all a very good night.